Well, it's special, it's unique, it's a season highlight for everyone. Bienvenue from Pau in southern France, host of the third round of the FIA F3 European Championship. This is the Formula 3 magazine show. Well, the youngsters competing in the championship have been racing on current Formula 1 tracks the last 2 times out, but now they'll head to the prestigious city of Pau. And this has been challenging international drivers since 1930. Pau is an atmospheric city close to the French Pyrenees. The fantastic historic town is a special location for the famous Grand Prix de Pau.
It's very important for everybody here. They wait year after year the Grand Prix because it's nice. It's very nice in Pau. Pau it's on the unique circuit in France, so it's very important for us. Yes.
The local residents are very much in the front row when the Formula 3 cars rush through the narrow streets. The young guns themselves are determined to put on a great show here in Pau. Get an extra boost by many new fans
Definitely
around the
a very
track.
special race, a location I really love to be, and yeah, it will be a good weekend. Of course, very challenging as a driver, and yeah, that's something we all like a lot. It's a fantastic track.
Hello guys, I'm Pedro Piquet, car number 5 from Van Amersfoort. Let's go for a ride in Pau. Okay, now we start the lap in Pau. Going to the gears until 6th gear, passing through the pit straight. We have an easy flat corner to the right, and we look for the white line and brake a bit later than that. 2nd gear on turn 2. Hit the apex and have a good throttle point. Now you go on another straight and look for the 50 meters board, 5th gear, almost 200. Brake, go to 2nd gear and stay on the apex throughout the whole corner. Go a bit close to the wall, and then not so hard braking, but really slow corner, the slowest one. Look for the traction. Now we approach the high-speed corners. Turn 5, flat in qualifying. Now turn 6, pretty fast corner also. Now we get to the most special part of the circuit. We go over the sidewalks, as you can see. Now we approach another 1st gear corner, pretty slow. Really important to hit the apex here. And now flat out until the last corner. One downshift, hit the apex but don't hit the curb. A little lift, and now we are back on the straight. Well guys, this was a lap in Pau. I hope you have enjoyed it. And I hope I can have a good weekend in this 3rd round of the FIA Formula 3.
It's always very difficult to overtake here in Pau, so qualifying is even more important than it is usually, and it's Callum Ilott who claims his 3rd pole position of the season. British McLaren Junior drivers Lando Norris starts from 2nd position, with championship leader Joel Eriksson right behind. Well, at the start, it was Callum Ilott who defends the leading position from Lando Norris, who slots into 2nd, Joel Eriksson into 3rd. Well, Lando Norris on the inside of Joel Eriksson into turn 1. Maximilian Günther with a slow start. He drops back a couple of positions, and in fact, Lando Norris losing out on the exit of turn 1. Joel Eriksson slots into 2nd place behind Callum Ilott, and the Brit Lando Norris is now in 3rd. Through the Foss chicane, the famous Foss chicane here, and who's that with damage? Well, it's Callum Ilott. Callum Ilott has clattered the barriers there. So our race leader, the Prima Power man, into the pit lane, and he's out of the race. Well, that means Joel Eriksson inherits the lead ahead of Lando Norris, Rory Mawson, Jake Dennis, the 2nd of the Carlin cars, in 4th place. Lando Norris chasing the race leader hard. Joel Eriksson, the motorpark man, under pressure. And that's Guan Yu Zhu, who's crashed. That's another Prema power car in the barriers. Safety car comes out. Zhu's car is taken away, and Joel Eriksson soon after gets us underway. And further back, Jake Dennis trying around the outside of Rory Mawson, gets a bit of contact, a little friendly nudge on the exit, and he's now under pressure from Maximilian Günther. Well, that was good racing between Jake Dennis and Mawson. Günther couldn't capitalise and has to slot back behind the Carlin machine. Well, two rookies in the top three here in Po isn't bad. Rory Mawson and Lando Norris second and third. Well, further back, that's Brit Jake Hughes, who's just got it wrong coming into the Fox chicane. And then that is big contact for Joey Mawson. That's big contact. That's just before the Fox chicane, and looking like Jake Dennis has run over some debris and clattered the barrier as well. I think I called him Rory Mawson earlier on in the race. It's Joey Mawson, of course. I do apologise. The Australian, the Van Amersfoort racing man, out of the race. Jake Dennis goes out with him. And Maximilian Günther then inherits a couple of places. He now moves up to third. And at the restart, it's still Joel Eriksson who leads from Lando Norris. Even with the pressure that Norris is putting on Joel Eriksson, this Po circuit not easy to pass around, and at the moment all the pressure on Eriksson, but he's not cracking. Lando Norris could do nothing about the pace of the Swede, and the motorpark man crossed the line ahead of the McLaren Autosport Young Driver of the Year. And Lando Norris in his Carlin machine has to settle for seconds this time around. Maximilian Günther with that final rostrum position.
The race by itself was really good. The start was for sure one of the best in the top of the drivers. And then I made a move in corner one of Lando Norris. It was really tough, but yeah, I already planned it in my head, and just stick to the plan, and I did it.
If there was one person I wanted to beat in that race, it would have been Joel. But yeah, another podium's definitely not a bad thing. I just need to make sure I'm ahead in qualifying later, and then hopefully tomorrow's results can be slightly different. But yeah, it was a good race. I think our pace throughout the whole thing was pretty good. So yeah, to wait and see for tomorrow.
To be honest, I'm happy for the points. It was an exciting race. Always good to be on the podium, and now we fully focus on second qualifying.
Well, it's not over yet, just one race under our belts, so there'll be plenty more action from Po still to come after this short commercial break. Welcome back to the FIA Formula 3 magazine show, and we're looking at coverage from the last race of the championship in Po. Well, 19 young talented drivers focused on collecting as many points as possible from this iconic round of the championship. And after his incident in race one, rookie Jake Dennis was not able to cross the finishing line, but there's still 2 races left, and it's not time to give up, not in his nature. We have a look into the inside of the fast Carlin driver before we see him on track again in races 2 and 3.
I'm Jake Dennis, and I'm driving for Carlin Motorsport in the FIA Formula 3 Championship, and I'm from Great Britain. Well, because I'm only doing the first 3 rounds of the championship this year, in 2017, my sort of short-time goal is going to be to try and win the Po Grand Prix. Obviously, in 2015, I came pretty close with leading it with 2 or 3 laps ago, then my suspension failed. So I want to try and get some revenge. I'm really into cycling, and my dad used to do it before I did when he was younger, so it's sort of in the blood still, and I'm really do that at quite a high level. Chocolate is a big fan for me. I really have to limit myself, especially now I'm still doing single-seaters. The weight for me is quite a big issue because I'm so tall. My dad, once he retired in cycling, he moved into motorsport. So I grew up at the racetrack from the age of like 1 to 8 watching him. And yeah, for my 8th birthday, I drove my kart for the first time. I raced at Imola in 2015 in the Formula 3 Championship, and that was a pretty cool track. The layout's still quite old school. It's obviously got a lot of history with Senna on that weekend, so I enjoyed that weekend a lot. I had some good results, and yeah, it was a special feeling in the paddock. My account is JakeDennis19, so give me a follow on that, and I'll try not to bore you with too many racing tweets.
Well, no doubt racing here in Po is something special, and somebody who knows exactly how difficult it is to be successful here is Jos Verstappen.
It's a very challenging track, of course, with the walls very close. Very small circuit, very challenging, especially Sector 2. But it's here, you really see the difference between the drivers, and I think this is good for a championship like Formula 3.
Up to second place in race 1, Lando Norris has all the chance to proceed to a successful podium streak here in Po. 17-year-old Brit starts from pole in 2 and 3. Let's see how it works out for Lando Norris on the right-hand side, and he's not quite as quick away as Maximilian Günther, and the number 3 plated Prema Power Team machine streaks into the lead. Lando Norris slots into second place with the 53 Prema Power Team machine of Callum Ilott right behind him, and Lando Norris threatening up the top of the hill, but Maximilian Günther sees off that challenge around the outside. Brave stuff from the Brit, who has another look at Maximilian Günther in his opening lap. And they put Joel Eriksson under plenty of pressure in the opening race, and he almost clatters the wall as he tries to pass Maximilian Günther in the opening exchanges of the second race. Lando Norris putting on a real show here for the fans in Po. But as it stands, Maximilian Günther is still ahead of the Brit, who'll be ruining another difficult start from pole position. Challenging to pass around this circuit. Callum Ilott, it is, in 3rd place. Joel Eriksson 4th, Adrian Newey, the Brit, in 5th. So what can race 1 winner Joel Eriksson do? There he is, the Motor Park machine. Up behind Callum Ilott, who threw away a win in the first race. He won't want to repeat that in this race, albeit throwing away a podium. Maximilian Günther with his mirrors full of Lando Norris's Carlin machine. Meanwhile, there's contact further back. And that's Marion Sato and Kevin Andres, who have a little bit of a collision at the hairpin. Well, Joel Eriksson in 4th, trying to close the gap to Callum Ilott. Still Maximilian Günther leads after 11 laps. And that lead starting to open up now as the clock ticks down in this second race in Po. You could say Maximilian Günther's controlling the race as Marion Sato and his Motor Park machine has to retire. Xuanzhan Zhu in the pits also, and he's out of this second race. We rejoin the action, looking at the battle for 5th. The 17 plate of Harrison Newey against Ralph Aron's high-tech machine.
I felt something was loose in the left front, and then just before the chicane, I saw the wheel was going up, and I couldn't steer, I couldn't brake, I couldn't do anything, so yes, going straight into the wall.
So that's Joel Eriksson in the wars in this second race. And also in the wars, Joey Mawson, the Van Amersfoort racing machine, out of the race. But no such dramas for race 2 winner, Maximilian Günther. Prema Power Team machine across the line in first place ahead of Lando Norris. And Callum Miller making it 2 Prema Power Team machines in the top 3.
In the beginning I needed to defend a bit against Lando because my tires have not been perfectly ready. And then as soon as I had a good feeling in the car, I could pull away from the others, open the gap, control the race, and yeah, just fantastic to now have the first win of the season.
Yeah, I mean, the car felt pretty good. The pace Maxi had throughout the race was very strong compared to me. So maybe we can do some tweaks to the car for that, but if I don't get off the line very well and hold the lead, then yeah, there's not too much to talk about.
It's just good to get the points that I need. I keep making mistakes, and race 1 I let the team down, I let myself down, and I put myself at a bit of a disadvantage, but now no more mistakes and I just go for it now.
Well, after this short break, we'll be back for the Grand Prix of Po. Welcome back to the 3rd race weekend of the FIA Formula 3 European Championship. At the foot of the Pyrenees, the Formula 3 drivers, I should say, are getting ready for the 76th edition of the Grand Prix of Po. Well, keen to get a good getaway from pole is Lando Norris, who chops across the front of Maximilian Günther's Prema Power Team machine. And he leads into turn 1. No mistakes this time around, and some robust driving by the Brit. He means business. He wants to win this famous race. Well, Callum Ilott slots into 3rd. Harrison Newey aboard his Van Amersfoort racing machine is 5th. So the Brits showing well in the top 5. Lando Norris starting to move away from the 2 Prema Power Team machines. That's Maximilian Günther leading his teammate Callum Miller. Callum Miller led the first race, but unfortunately crashed out. Looked a bit downbeat on the podium in the 2nd race, but nevertheless, strong showings from the Brit. Lando Norris it is who leads this opening tour. Newey up to 5th, Joel Eriksson 5th, Ralph Aron rounding out the top 6. Jake Dennis down in 13th. And there's drama further back. Let's see who that was. I think that was Harrison Newey. Yes, it was. Harrison Newey getting a little bit squirrely there, managing to keep it all in the right direction. And this is Joel Eriksson fighting with Ralph Aron. Now, did Ralph Aron get through there? Difficult to see. Now, David Beckman, the Van Amersfoort racing car, has hit the barriers. This brings out the safety car, and you can see hefty contact there for the German. That brought Lando Norris's lead right down, and he had it all to do again from the restart. Just under 20 minutes to go. And plenty of battles further back. The number 7 car of Ralph Aron still in the mix. Eriksson bumped back to Well, where's he dropped back to? Certainly dropping back. Joel Eriksson and Joey Mawson, the Australian. He'll be coming back next year, hopefully with better luck, because he's out of this race. Kevin Anders, the German, with suspension damage, and Lando Norris is also out of the race. And hands over their faces. The Carlin team cannot believe it. It looks as though there was suspension damage for the Brit, which has meant Maximilian Günther has won the 76th Grand Prix of Po ahead of Callum Ilott. Ralph Aron raced up to third, passing Harrison Newey and Joel Eriksson in that race.
Amazing.
Cracking stuff from him.
The Po Grand Prix is something very special, a race with so many tradition and history. Yeah, it was a great race for me at the start. The start was okay basically, but I stayed in second position. Then, yeah, Lando was really aggressive during the race, was pushing a lot. I decided to go my own pace because I knew overtaking is not that easy, and it's important to finish the race. Finally, it was the right decision, as we saw that Lando crashed in front of me. And yeah, I took the victory, the 25 points, which are the most important of everything, of all. And yeah, just amazing. I'm really, really happy and proud to win this special race.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Again, there's not much more I can really do. At the start, I got a decent start, but then again, nowhere to go. Then after that, it was just keep going. We had the safety car, and that brought things closer, but there was no opportunity. There was action happening behind me, but nothing with me. And then I think Lando made the mistake that a lot of us have made this weekend, and I think he was just the last one to do it. So it's a bit unlucky for him, but at the end of the day, I've done it, Joel's done it. So yeah, I think it's not obviously not good, but yeah, it's something that happens.
Really happy, to be honest. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, to be honest. We've been working really hard this year with the team, as we struggled a lot at the beginning of the season, but we're getting better with every weekend. And today in race 3, I actually felt like I was definitely one of the fastest guys on track. So massive thanks to the team. And yeah, I can't really remember when I was that happy last time. So motorsport is fun. The biggest downsides so far in my life and the biggest upsides have been with motorsport. So that's why I like it.
Well, Lando Norris equal on points with Joel Eriksson, Maximilian Günther right there in third, with Callum rounding out the top 4. That's it from the 76th edition of the Grand Prix of Po. We say au revoir from France, the third round of the FIA Formula 3 Championship. We head to Hungary next time out. So for now, it's bye from all of us here at Eurosport, and we'll see you soon after the Hungary round in Budapest.